Good day, everyone, and welcome to Telegram Talks. My special guest today is Giorgi Shagidze, CEO of MAIB. Hello, good day.
Bună ziua. Hello. Hi,
Hello.
and thanks for having me.
Bună ziua. Did you manage to learn Romanian already?
Well, no, unfortunately, but I do know some words.
Okay. Mr. Shagidze, you were on the verge of leaving, but you stayed. So this will definitely be one of my questions today. But this will be like the cherry on the cake in the middle or in the end. I'll start with what's close to me, the digital banking. You have been successfully unsurprisingly developing your mobile app, the digital banking services. Did this become the core of your focus in the next period, or traditional banking stays as it was and this is just a small part?
No, digital and development in digital is by far the highest priority that we have. And there are so many things that we are doing. Last year we launched, close to end of the last year, face identification and verification function. We launched buy now, pay later function. We are right now launching completely redesigned utility and bill payments in our application with very intuitive, very user-focused functionality. So digital is indeed by far the highest priority that we have.
How do your customers react to these new functionalities? Because there are two types of clients. Clients that are amazed that there is speed, there is innovation, and there are clients that, oh no, I wanted the old version is much better.
Well, I think it's a process, and step by step we are learning with our customers. And there are so many things that we still need to fine-tune, we need to ensure that we improve. But then we have the process where we try to be very close with the customers. And some of the numbers are very encouraging. They are best in the region. So, for example, we have about 600,000 maibank users, which is for the country, for the small country like Moldova, is a very big achievement. 55% of our loans and 65% of our deposits are granted through mobile banking. This is one of the best numbers, not only for Moldovan banking sector, but for the regional banking sector. So we are learning with our customers, but then we see lots of openness, lots of readiness to accept new technology from our customers.
To be honest, I was one of the clients that have onboarded digitally on your app after I had a talk with one of your colleagues in one podcast. It was really nice to onboard without going to the bank. How was this functionality embraced by your customers, by the other customers? Did they appreciate it? How many people tried this functionality?
Yeah, so this is completely new functionality. It's quite innovative for the region as well. And then we basically take the picture of the customer, we check it with liveness so that we basically mitigate any fraud attempt. We take the picture from the public registry, we match the pictures, and when there is a match, we process with the transactions. We already have few thousand customers, and this is just beginning. Moldovan banking sector has very good potential to grow. Not everyone has all the banking services. So features like this and functionalities like this will enable us to attract more customers, to suggest more fine-tuned products to these customers. But then I need to once again say that we are learning with our customers, step by step, improving our functionality in our mobile banking.
Talking about the digital banking, I understand this is a priority area, or there are some other domains that you focus on?
Well, this is, there are few priorities. Within those priorities, of course, digital banking is the the biggest priority. We not only in retail, in SME banking or in business banking, we launched completely new internet banking, mobile banking in both type of application, and there are new features planned there as well. Overall, the biggest change that we are doing in the bank is to focus, to put the customer at the center of everything we do. And that might sound like a marketing message, and maybe
it sounds
it does, but then in reality it's a big or huge transformation into the culture, into the processes of the bank, to ensure that everything we do in the bank, customer is at the center. And we don't.
What do you mean by that, customer is in the center? Because if we just say it like this, it's marketing. Can you give some examples?
Well, when you are designing new product, when you are designing new service, when you are designing new process, when you are designing any new initiative, when you look through this process or initiative from the perspective of the customer and what the customer would think about this process and initiative, so then when you have really changed the focus from the process, product, and so on to the customer, right? So this is clearly big change. We don't claim that we've sorted out everything, but we are moving towards that direction, and this is the ambition that we have.
I was looking at the statistics you have. 2023 seems like quite productive, like 1 million customers, issued 1 million cards. Every second business loan in the country was granted by MAIB. This, I must be sincere, are amazing figures. What do you think helped you achieving these milestones, which are notable, I think, not just for Moldova but for the region?
Indeed, we are doing again huge transformation, and the numbers in 2023, 2022, when you go backwards, they are quite impressive. But then clearly the biggest strength that we have is our team. And then we started with the team, and I've said a few times that I've been very lucky with the team that we have. Now, there is a transformation into Agile structure, which we completed last year, and now we are just sorting out the remaining parts. And this is the change in the philosophy, how the banking is done, how the decisions are taken, how close we are with the customers. We about 2-3 weeks ago, we had another session with our customers when we asked our customers to tell what they think about our mobile banking specific functionalities. And our Agile teams basically attend such sessions to ensure that they take the feedback, they try to then deploy this feedback, and so on. So the biggest achievement we have is clearly the team, and then the structure and routines, which we call Agile, that we have transformed the bank into.
All of this would have not been possible, or are not possible from what I know, without big investments. Like, that means you invest more in wages, in, I don't know, in processes, in the IT department.
Of course, from our perspective, we do invest in technology, we do invest in basically in training, in upgrading of our people's capabilities. For example, about 1.5-2 years ago, we took about 60 people from MAIB. We went together to see how ING did its transformation into the Agile. And ING is one of the pioneers in Agile in banking in Europe. We did do Stanford executive program for 60 of our managers, which lasted 8 weeks, specifically designed to leadership, designed to strategy, organization, culture, and so on. Yes, we do invest in lots of areas, because without investment, of course, nothing can be achieved. Now, that said, the numbers that you are seeing with the growth, profitability, the portfolio quality, capital adequacy, and so on, which are quite outstanding, I would say, they already include these investments. It's not that we are investing and saying that, listen, you won't have the financial results because we are invested. We do invest and achieve the result.
talking about the corporate banking, every second business loan issued by this is, I would say, a huge figure. Why this has happened? It's a heritage that you took from the past, or did you change something?
Well, I think the MAIB has been a leader of the banking sector before I arrived in the bank and before these new shareholders came, and then clearly there is a very strong heritage, especially when we speak about the corporate banking. We've been issuing up to every second loan in the country in business banking, not necessarily only corporate banking, but all the business loans, especially when we speak about the SME loans, the micro loans. So these are the numbers, and there have been so many changes that we've done there. So we transformed the system into more pre-approved loans model and approach, whereby basically some of the customers' loans are just pre-approved, and whenever the customer comes, the decision to give the loan is quick and immediate. We look to the metric called time to yes and time to cash, and in time to yes we basically measure how many hours we spent from the time that person entered in the bank to the time that we approved the loan. And our ambition is to approve 80% of the loans in few hours. We are not there yet, so there are some cases that we are behind and we need to do more, but then clearly we have a big progress there with the pre-approved loans and with this focus. Again, in digital, I mean, we do already have now the capability to open the account for legal entities completely online and get the loan, give the loan to the person completely online. We changed many processes, they strengthened our team with additional members. We created hubs in the region, so we have five hubs when our customers enjoy better service with more one-to-one engagement and so on. So yes, there was a very strong heritage, especially in corporate, and then we are building on this heritage as well.
I've seen this feature available for individuals also in the app, where you have the pre-approved loan, like you just click and you have the money, and that's a cool thing. So I understand it's the same for the corporate banking, like they have this funnel of funds that they can get very fast.
Yeah, it's not that quick though, but it's
I understand. Yeah, it takes a bit of time when we talk about legal entities. I wanted to ask you about the startups, this ecosystem of innovation in Moldova. We have Moldova Startup Summit, then we have Moldova Digital Summit. So the ecosystem is evolving. I saw in many cases you are supporting some of this events, activities. What is your approach towards innovation and startups?
Well, we do encourage innovation, obviously, across our bank and our subsidiaries, especially in the technology. We consider startups, especially in Fintech, in ecosystem type of startups, as the future, and we really want to firstly encourage them, and then secondly engage somehow, and then not only support them throughout various conferences, but sometimes work with them very closely, so that we basically together grow. You may have seen we've done quite impressive projects with one of the fintechs in the countries when it comes to the payments, and we've partnered with them quite closely, and then the project is working very well. We have other fintechs that we are discussing partnership. So basically, when it comes to the startups, we want to encourage, we want to support, and we want to somehow find them to sponsor, to partner, and somehow embed our services within their app so that we can succeed together.
Have you ever thought about acquiring a startup, like to expand out your services or get into other markets, for instance?
We have not acquired, but we don't exclude the acquisition of the startup. But then again, we have launched our own startups, and we have partnered with the other startups as well.
I've seen in the near future you are organizing an event about the capital markets at the Bucharest Stock Exchange, about the capital markets in the two countries. What are you aiming with this event? Because I know this is not the first type of such event that took place.
Well, this is extremely important event. This is organized by Bucharest Stock Exchange in the partnership with leading banks in Bucharest, such as Raiffeisen and Wood, along with MAIB as well. So there is a quite big consortium that is organizing this event, and it is very high-level event which will be opened by the Prime Minister of Romania and Prime Minister of Moldova. Then there will be heads of parliaments of both countries. So that basically brings into the room and into the discussion the capital market entire ecosystem of Romania. And by the way, Bucharest Stock Exchange is a very dynamic, growing, deep capital market, which is welcoming Moldovan companies. I think one of the real advantages that Moldovan companies or Moldova as the country has is the potential access to Romanian capital market
through the stock exchange in Bucharest.
Stock exchange. So let's assume that the Moldovan company who has grown quite fast and wants to issue either equity or debt, then there is a Romanian stock exchange which is assuming that the company meets the standard, is welcoming. So this is big plus. And if we somehow make sure that there is this gateway between Moldova and Romania, so that Moldovan companies can raise capital, Moldovan companies can bring additional investors in the country with already smooth process, this will be big for the country, for the banking sector. So the first event was in 2022 September. It was very successful. The first event too was opened by the prime ministers of Romania and Moldova. This is Moldova-Romania Capital Bridges. By the way, we did do the similar event at the London Stock Exchange as well. So such events ensure that Moldova will be put on the map for the international investors.
This was a kind of trap question because previously you have announced that you want to list to an international stock exchange, and Bucharest Stock Exchange was one of the options you were pursuing. What happened with the plans? Are you still on track with that?
Well, I think the listing our shares remained priority for the bank, and the shareholders supported the decision around 2 years ago. Clearly, we need the changes in the law for the listing to be feasible. But then, very importantly, I think if when the largest bank lists its shares on the international stock exchange, it acts as the gateway of positioning the country to the international investors and bringing the most reputable, most successful, you may call them biggest decision makers and investors in the country as well. So this is a big not only for MAIB, but for the banking sector or the economy or capital markets of Moldova as well.
I can't help to ask you about your decision to remain as CEO of MAIB until the next year, and in case of a successful IPO until 2026. What happened? What's the big secret? Can you say more than you said in the press release?
Well, indeed. Thanks for the question. Indeed, we did have basically good achievements and impressive results during the transformation that we have been doing so far. But then there have been few factors that basically contributed. One of them is clearly EU and EU accession, which creates lots of opportunities for MAIB and for MAIB initiatives. This is along with the continuous support with the shareholders. And about the team, I said a few times that I've been very lucky. Basically made me think to extend my stay until end of next year, as you noticed.
Do you think that these negotiations with the EU will somehow boost the local economy? Maybe they will not change anything. What is your personal touch on this, like political events very connected with the economical side?
No, I think the EU is like once in a century opportunity for Moldova. I'm Georgian myself, it's the same for Georgia and any small country which neighbors the EU. This creates very predictable environment. It opens the market of about 400 million plus people who are very wealthy, especially if you compare it to Moldovan or Georgian standard of living. That creates the good momentum for further export, the decreasing cost of capital, decreasing rates, subsidies, you name it. I think EU is clearly once in a century opportunity for the country, and I'm very pleased to see this opportunity becoming real in Moldova. This will be big for the banking sector, for the companies, for people. We've been trying to analyze how the other countries who got the accession plans performed during this accession and post-accession period. Mm-hmm. And overall, the GDP growth numbers sometimes even double. The GDP per capita numbers double quite in a short period of time. There is a clearly the predictable environment which makes people invest more, own their finances more. We can't get tired speaking about it. It gives enormous opportunity for the country. Step by step, it's not that tomorrow everything will be different, but step by step, this is big for the country.
I must be sincere, I have a lot of acquaintances that work at MAIB. And many of them, without like marketing your image, are really respecting you and seeing you as an important figure, transformative figure for the bank in the last years. Having this international experience, what do you think is important for a leader? For instance, in a big team, because MAIB is big, how a leader should act to enable and to inspire people to love their job?
No, I'm very humbled and honored what you said, but I think there are few characteristics. Obviously, you can start with having the vision, communicating the vision, maintaining the momentum. This is clearly important for any leader to ensure that it has the vision or develops the vision with the team and communicates this vision with the team. But then the other one, which is similarly important, is the servant leadership, right? So this is the concept that we are promoting across our leadership at MAIB, so that the leader is not the boss, right? The guy who knows everything and who is basically always right, and then you need to wait for him before he basically decides that what you need to do. But then the leader who serves you, right? So the servant leadership is the leader who serves you, to ensure that he nurtures you. He tries to inspire you. He tries to find the right place for you, and so on. So I think this is very important. And then overall, the teamwork, and ensuring that people can work together. This is something very important. Servant leadership, I don't know how commonly used this term is. In Russian, that would be lider oficiant. So I'm trying to give this sense of, so leader, not the guy who is with the tie sitting and, saying that I know how to do these things. The other way around. It needs to serve the people who can do and who can take the responsibility of doing things.
I want to come back to one of the questions. You mentioned the event Capital Markets that is going to take place in Bucharest, an important event that bridges economies. In the same time, I wanted to ask, how do you see do you feel like there is a competition like on the fintech side at European level, because there are a lot of fintech startups that are quite powerful, providing digital banking services. How do you look at this type of competition?
Well, I think it's fair that the fintech and overall tech and overall innovation is something that is very powerful, and they have destroyed many industries and many banks many companies who thought they were leaders. We all know the stories about Nokia, Polaroid, Kodak, and so on. But this is why it is even more important that the banks transform from this very hierarchical, very command and control to more agile, to more future-proof institutions, so that they can respond very quickly to the changes of expectation of the customer. So why people basically are disrupted, because they don't listen how quickly the customers change their expectations. And this is what we are trying to do in the bank, and this is where we have already been successful to change and transform the model into more agile, more customer-centric institution. And there, it's very difficult for any newcomer to compete. Now, I don't want to sound like we've done everything, we achieved everything, now the change is part of our life, right? So if we ensure that step by step we grow with our customers, we are very close with our customers, we are agile, then clearly we are equipped with enough instruments not to fear the competition.
And my last question regarding the artificial intelligence. There is a hype now in the world with AI services backed by AI. Nvidia is like valuating a lot of money on the stock exchanges in US. So on one side, people are very enthusiastic about this. On one side, they are fearful. How do you look at this as a CEO at the most important bank in Moldova now?
No, this is fair question, and I am also quite closely following up. AI is something which will come, and it will come much faster than any innovation. And there is basically there are lots of studies which show that the time that innovation needs to become widely accepted is decreasing. So, for example, ChatGPT reached 100 million customers in about 1 month, as opposed to, I don't know, the previous innovation to reach 100 million took maybe 2-3 years. So AI is very powerful, it is coming, but then again, I see it as an opportunity more than the threat for any industry. For the banking, there are use cases for AI that we already started to do the first step. Then again, we are largest bank in the country, but we are small bank if you take the if you take the international banking system, so we are also looking how the others are dealing with it. So AI will be coming. I see it as an opportunity, but there will be lots of changes that we need to adapt. And again, the agile, the ability to adapt with the changes is something that will help the leaders to remain on the game.
Mr. Shagidze, thank you very much for your time, for coming here and talking about digital banking. Good luck. Good luck with your plans, with the IPO. I think this is a great opportunity, like to open the gates for many more businesses that are looking to at the Bucharest Stock Exchange or maybe another one.